Welcome to Keep It Local, a program produced by the Greater Beverly Chamber of Commerce and BevCam TV. I'm your co-host, John King, a chamber member and owner of Headway Strategies, helping individuals and organizations make headway toward their goals more consistently.
And I'm Leslie Gould, Executive Director of the Greater Beverly Chamber of Commerce, serving Beverly, Danvers, and surrounding communities.
On this edition of Keep It Local, winter can be tough on your landscape, especially your trees and shrubs. Rich Grant of Mayor Tree Services will discuss the many services he provides to help you maintain your yard and keep it protected.
Alyse Grimm is a driven entrepreneur and content creator who loves curating a things to do in Salem experience for you. But she's also a digital media marketing professional who can support your social media, content creation, and digital visual arts to promote your business. We'll meet Alyse, who was born to create.
Even the best sales force needs a reboot of training and motivation. Bobbie Antinarelli is the owner of Open Door Selling. We'll hear from the former educator turned sales consultant and trainer to support the growth of your sales goals.
Climate change will continue to be a hot topic. Here in Beverly, Executive Director of Green Beverly, Dean Berg, will share with us how Green Beverly is working to help all Beverly residents and businesses lead more sustainable lives through actionable information, inspiration, and education. But first, let's hear from a word from our sponsor, Sean Anderson from Big A's Home Improvement.
Hi, my name is Sean Anderson with Big A's Home Improvement. We are a proud sponsor of the Greater Beverly Chamber of Commerce Keep It Local show. We specialize in all sorts of residential, bathrooms, kitchens, additions, second levels, finished basements. You can reach me at 857-891-2589. Once again, that's 857-891-2589. Or you can email me at Sean, SEAN_BIG_A @yahoo.com. Feel free to reach out anytime. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm here with Rich Grant, and the neat thing about Rich is that I've been his customer for about 3 or 4 years. And he's with Mayor Tree. He is an arborist and a project manager, so he's the guy that comes out and makes sure that you know what's going to happen to the tree, and then you manage the people that are cutting it down or doing whatever they're doing on it.
Yes, that is correct.
That right?
Yeah.
Okay, super. So tell us a little bit about the services that Mayor Tree provides.
Well, Mayor Tree has been in business for over 20 years now. We provide expert tree pruning, tree removal, insect and disease control on trees and shrubs, tick and mosquito control, and we also provide lawn care applications.
Okay, so lawn care applications mean you're mowing or you're...
We're treating the grass for insects and disease and fertilizer.
And talk about I know you came to my place and you sprayed the trees because I had an infestation of some sort of little caterpillars or something like that.
Yeah, you had winter moth caterpillar, which is those little green moths, well, the little green inchworms we used to have years ago. But they're less in population now due to late freezes early freezes in December to keep them from coming out of the ground, and also to some flies that UMass has been releasing to kill the larvae. Now, if you're seeing these moths, they're the brown moths that are flying towards your windows right now. I've had 3 or 4 at my house, and they're brown, then that is the winter moth.
Okay.
So if we're starting to see those, I did see an influx in that caterpillar actually this year. So if I see more next year, we may have to start spraying for that again.
Okay, all right. So you also do things like stump grinding and removal of debris from storms and things like that.
Yes, we have log trucks. So in heavy storms like nor'easters that we normally get, usually we can send a log truck down to get the tree out of the driveway to get you off to work or wherever you need to be. Stump grinding, I just looked at one in Wakefield where they need to put in a fence. And instead of having the fence go from here up to here and over a stump, we can then grind that stump where you could have a nice level fence go in.
Okay. And what geographic area do you cover?
We cover all of Essex County, southern New Hampshire, and Worcester County.
Okay. And you've been in business for what, how many
Over
years?
20 years.
Over 20 years. Okay. And you're based in Essex.
Yep. Main office is in Essex, and we have another one in Plastow, New Hampshire.
Okay. Well, I just want to tell you, to the audience here, that when you came to my house and I had this giant tree in my backyard with limbs over top of my house, that you brought a crane in. And I'll tell you, that was one of the more unsettling things when I saw the guy fly up from the crane over the roof of my house and get up in the tree and then start cutting the limb. And then you brought the limb back over top of the house. I'll tell you, I videoed that because I wanted to make sure that if there was an issue, we could have a good conversation about it. But it was great. I mean, you guys really do come along and do a great job, and I really do appreciate that for that service.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about your website and what you've got out there, and you've got requests for people to, if they want to find out your services, they can get on your website and they can send a request to have somebody come talk to them, right? That's somebody like you?
Yeah, somebody like me. So you'd go to the website, www.mayortree.com. You'd click on it and then schedule an appointment with an arborist. Me or someone else like me would come out and take a look at your trees.
So you will do the diagnosis of the tree in terms of whether it needs to be taken down or whether it needs to be...
Yeah, taken down, trimmed, house clearance, because you don't need branches scraping up against the house.
How close should a tree be to a house? Or should it be to a house?
Trees shouldn't be more than, 14 feet, within 14 feet of a house. Squirrels, as a good rule of thumb, can jump 14 feet. Most of the time, even like myself, I've planted trees too close to the house, but I know how to prune them. Most people don't, so that's why you need to generally prune them back in a way.
Okay. Well, with the advent of the personal chainsaw, the thing is that people do tend to try to do trees themselves. And I really think I would suggest people that have that kind of situation probably should come to someone like you especially if you're cutting it down by the street or whatever it is, so you don't drop it on somebody's car as they're driving by.
Yeah, definitely hire a professional, because you do not want to be putting a ladder in a tree and having that branch you are cutting come down and hit the ladder and knock you down on the ground. Because that is not a very fun thing to have happen.
No, not thank you so much for coming in today.
No problem.
And now we're going to kick it back to Leslie, who is going to do another interview. Thanks very much, Rich.
No problem. Good to see you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks, John. Well, now we're back with Alyse Grimm. She has an amazing business called Things to Do in Salem, but it's not exactly what you think. So, Alyse, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Talk about your business, and it's really kind of twofold.
Yeah, definitely. So things to do in Salem.com is, in broadest terms, a media and marketing company. So I do all of the content creation, social media, and digital visual arts for my platforms, which deal with tourism in Salem. And I also do the same for my clients, which are in and around Salem and on the North Shore.
So talk to us about being a role. You really do play a role in tourism. Talk to us about how your business curates tourism for people who want to come.
So my platforms curate tourism for people who want to visit by the first-person storytelling aspect of what I do, kind of a little bit of social media influencing mixed in there, where I'm showing people firsthand where I'm going, what I'm doing, attractions that you can check out, restaurants that have opened, businesses that have opened, and things that they can come and experience so that when they come to Salem, they can experience it and enjoy it, to the most.
Talk to us a little bit too, like what kind of following do you have on your social media, especially with regard to the tourism aspect? I'd love to know like how it's really taken off and people are really tuning into you.
So my platforms have grown pretty quickly since I started, which I think I do attribute a little bit to being a niche creator in Salem. I'm very specific about what I'm doing. And also that storytelling perspective of what I offer definitely brought people in. Between my platforms, I've got over 100,000 people that follow me and come to me for information, event info, travel tips and tricks, insight on how to visit in October and how to navigate that scene, and everything related to that.
So I have to ask, of course, so what's your favorite thing in Salem? Let's promote that for a second.
Like an attraction or a restaurant?
Both.
Okay, so my favorite attractions are probably the Salem Trolley, which is a great way to sightsee in a very expedited way, especially if you're tired of walking around and spending the whole day on your feet. You can get on the trolley, see a bunch of landmarks in a very efficient way. I like the House of the Seven Gables, and I also really like going out on the Schooner Fame, which is a boat that takes you out on the water. A lot of people miss the nautical aspect of the things to do in Salem, so the boats are great. As far as restaurants, I think my favorite is probably Turner's Seafood. I don't think I've ever had anything there that wasn't absolutely incredible.
Those are some great tips, even for the locals. You know, we got to explore our own backyard, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about business. You also help businesses too. You're savvy for the tourism aspect to get people here on the North Shore, but at the same time, you have a great service to offer businesses. So talk about that.
Yeah, so I do offer a wide range of content creation and media services for my clients. This is blog content creation, newsletter management, social media management. I do a lot of consulting for businesses in Salem, and also a variety of digital visual arts, which include web design, graphic design, and photography.
Do you have a lot of clients locally or throughout the United States?
The most of my clients are in the immediate downtown area in Salem, but I work with businesses primarily all around the North Shore.
So people think that hiring a digital media consultant really is expensive. Is that true?
Not necessarily, and especially when it comes to the small business owners in Salem and around the North Shore, they range in size and in need and what they're looking for, what would help them the most. So everybody's situation is unique. You can definitely bring somebody on in an affordable way if you approach them with what you're looking for and what you think would help the most in your situation.
How are most people finding you, other than the Chamber of Commerce, of course?
A lot of word of mouth and local Chamber of Commerce situations, such as the Greater Beverly Chamber of Commerce.
Love to hear it. No, seriously, love to hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the misconceptions? You've got two kind of different businesses going on here. Do people get confused?
I think one of the biggest misconceptions that I see that people come to me with is feeling like their business doesn't have enough content, or that they don't have anything interesting going on, or anything that they could be showcasing or highlighting. And with a lot of my clients, I have to really show them that everything can be content. You have a story to tell. Your business has a story to tell. You can definitely approach that from those angles and create for all the platforms that you need to, so that you can show up online when people are trying to find you.
Alyse, I know we're going to put up a slate right after this interview, but again, tell us where people can find you.
I can be found at thingstodoinsalem.com.
Awesome. Well, this has been very informative, and I wish you all the success, and we thank you for your membership.
Thank you so much for having me.
You got it. All right, John, back to you.
Thank you, Leslie, for the handoff. I'm here with Bobbie Antinarelli. Did I pronounce that right?
You did.
Very good. She has a company called Open Door Selling, not to be confused with Open Door Real Estate.
Right.
So just remember that when you're looking her up on the internet there, that's what she is. But can you just talk a little bit about your background, how you got into the business that you're in right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I basically want to help companies grow, and I went out on my own just during COVID and kind of formalized my practice. But my background is in education and training, and also counseling psychology. And when I switched into sales in the healthcare space, mostly with startups, I noticed there was such a common communication skills transition with counseling psychology and teaching and sales training, if it's consultative sales training. And so I formalized my own process, simplified it to 5 steps, and I use that to this day. And that's what I use to train and coach others.
Okay, and what type of companies do you go to for training?
Yeah, so typically companies that are looking to put into practice some structure.
Okay.
So I talk about helping a company get revenue ready before I actually train them. And that could be, do they have a process in place to do some prospecting and lead generation? Are they tracking those leads so that they can build and sustain an opportunity pipeline?
So they need a CRM system of some sort to be able to track what's actually happening with their sales folks out there and follow
Yes.
up and things like that.
Yes, I always recommend that. And I think sometimes that can be daunting for companies, but you know, I use HubSpot myself, and it has a free version.
Right.
So there are a lot of ways to get started with that in a simple way and in an affordable way for companies that are looking to put in sales structure and may or may not have yet hired someone dedicated to selling.
Yeah, I mean, I realize that. I mean, just looking at the industry as such, I mean, you get somebody to go out for sales, and they've been they're not being very successful, and what things do they have to do differently in order to be successful?
I think selling consultatively rather than in a strict features and benefits way is the way to go. It is relationship-based. It honors the relationship first. It's guided by listening, building a foundation of candor and trust and comfort in the relationship, because what's going to happen as you move forward in the sales process is there are going to be some hard questions to ask and hard conversations to have when you talk about budgets and decisions. So you want to have built a relationship that is comfortable and lays the groundwork for asking those tough questions.
So is there a difference between selling a product, if you would, a product versus a service?
No, I don't believe there is. I think the difference is you start with the relationship and you make sure that you are, regardless whether you're selling a product or a service, you get a sense of what are the real needs and challenges.
Yeah, that's very important.
And if it's a product or a service, it really doesn't matter. That's where you want to start.
And that's using the L word, which is listen.
The L word it's an important word.
Yeah, people sometimes don't do that. I mean, I've sat through several presentations where everything they know about what their product or solution is dumped on the table in the first 3 minutes.
And that is the strict features and benefits model. Yeah. And I don't mean to slam features and benefits, because we all need to understand the features and benefits and value proposition of that product or service we sell, but you don't need to share everything. You want to be careful about what you share and when you share it based on that conversation and the needs that are presented.
So you really have to understand what the business is and see if the applicability is, because last thing you want to do is sell them a bolt that's not going to fit in a round hole kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we need to do that. That's good. So you've got your 5-stage process, and you've got a newsletter that you've just put together.
That's launching in January.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called The Key.
Yeah.
Unlock the door to sales success is the tagline, and it's going to be a very simple newsletter. It's designed to educate and give good information for people. I'll be writing an article every month and have a kind of a keynote speaker and talk about purposeful prospecting. And so I'm going to have a mailing going out where people can subscribe. I'm not just going to send it to anyone. I'm not assuming that people will.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we're just about out of time. I mean, this has been great. I had a great opportunity to chat with you here.
Oh, I've enjoyed it.
So we will look forward to have a good holiday.
Thank you, John.
And I'm going to turn it back over to Leslie.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
John and Bobbie, thank you so much. Well, here in the studio now, we are with Dean Berg. He is the executive director of Green Beverly, which is kind of becoming a bit of a pilgrimage, if you ask me. I mean, everybody's kind of jumping on this bandwagon, which is exactly what you wanted. So I love it. You're like, yeah.
Yes.
So what is Green Beverly for those who might not know?
Yeah, great question, Leslie. So Green Beverly is a nonprofit organization in Beverly, and our mission is to help residents and businesses be more sustainable. So that means that we're here to provide guidance, information, education on how people can reduce their environmental impact, their carbon footprint. And we do that through events, we do that through free services, and we do that through community projects.
Okay, so probably not on one of the questions, but why? Why did you jump into this and create it?
That's a great question. That is also a great question.
No, it's important.
It is important. I realized probably 8 to 9 years ago, I was at that stage in my life where I was in the corporate world, and I wanted to find a way to give back to my local community. I wanted to find a way to help others understand what they could do from a climate action perspective. And I just felt drawn to this. This is my passion. This is what I was meant to do.
So how are you getting popularity within the community? How are you gaining the public relations that you really need to actually make an impact?
Yeah, so we early on decided and realized that in order to inspire people to take action, to be conscious of what their actions are doing, that we needed to engage people in a very fun, light-hearted kind of a way, and engage people in that way. So we really took a very kind of positive urgency, kind of brand kind of perspective on how to engage people.
So one of the things I love is that you actually go into people's homes and you go into people's businesses. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we have a coaching program. We have coaches, 24 to 25 coaches that span the topics of transportation, home energy, food, diet, lawn and garden. And as people have questions, they will pose their questions. We will line them up with a coach, and a coach in some cases will go to their home. Like if it's a solar question, the coach will go to their home, look at their roof, look at their tree line, look and really talk to the homeowner about how practical is solar on your roof.
So again, this is a total comprehensive green sustainable mission.
Yeah.
This isn't just about food. It's not just about plastic.
Right.
It's about everything. What's the topic that's really on people's minds the most? What do they really want to change in their lives?
It really differs from person to person, household to household, but I would say of all the questions that we get, solar is one of the more popular questions. We're starting to get a lot more questions around electric vehicles, electric cars. We get a lot of questions around trash and recycling and composting. So those are probably our top three. Food is also a very common topic that we hear about. So you're right, it is very broad. We like to say that anything that we as residents have control over from an environmental perspective, we want to cover it.
Is there any pushback?
There is in certain cases, yeah, absolutely. And a lot of this is shifting behaviors and changing behaviors, and we all know that it's hard for us to, as humans, to change behaviors, right? So in various situations, people push back on, do I really need to do that? Or does it really make a difference? Or how can I really do this? Can I afford to do this? And, so we're always working through those objections and working through those hurdles whenever possible.
I think that it's the perception that recycling isn't easy, or, being sustainable, being green isn't easy, although Kermit says it is, but
Right.
I don't know, or he says it's not, I guess. So anyway, seriously, are you finding that people are realizing, you know what, this isn't so bad?
It really takes baby steps, right? Do one thing at a time, kind of get that down, build that into your daily lifestyle, build that in as a habit, and then work on the next thing. If we go to a household or a person or an individual and we say, you have to do these 25 things, it's daunting, right? And we're going to get an immediate reaction to that. But if we say, just do one thing at a time, start small, build, grow, it becomes easier and easier over time.
We only have a few seconds left,
Yeah.
but I'm going to go over a little bit, but that's okay. Just talk to us quickly about the business side of things. How are you helping businesses be more green?
Yeah, we help businesses in a couple of different ways, and they're very integral into our community, right? Our green, sustainable community. So we can coach businesses on what they're doing within their organization, within their business today from a sustainable perspective. We'd like to see what they're already doing and maybe make some suggestions as to what they can do to go to the next step. We can provide workshops for their employees. We can provide coaching for their employees. And on the flip side, we want to recognize those businesses that are doing great things from a sustainable standpoint. So we have a green business directory that is on our website that allows residents to see which businesses in town are doing great things from a sustainability standpoint.
You are doing great things, and thank you so much for your efforts and all the volunteers that are working with you. This is not heavy lifting. It's not easy, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
There's a lot to change behavior is hard. So,
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Leslie. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Well, Leslie, with the new year upon us, what can the community look forward to as we move forward to 2024?
Well, we've got a lot of stuff coming up at the Greater Beverly Chamber of Commerce. Of course, we have our gift certificate program, which is, again, a shop local program where anyone in the community can purchase a gift certificate for $10, $25, or $50, or, a combination of, and shop at over 50 businesses. That's restaurants, health and wellness, beauty, retail and service-oriented businesses. And it's just a great opportunity for people to be able to choose where to go in Beverly and the area. Some of the businesses that are represented on that are out of Beverly, but most are in Beverly. But again, think, past the holidays, think Galentine's Day, Valentine's Day, birthdays, special occasions. Anytime you want to thank someone, it's just a really great opportunity to keep dollars local in our community.
Right, and that's what we're about. Keep dollars local in our community.
Absolutely. And then the last thing I would really talk about is our Health and Wellness Committee is extremely active and very strong. And we will absolutely be gearing up or generating a lot more events this year throughout the community. So I think that's going to be something to really watch for.
So what kind of events are we looking at?
Well, we're looking at a big community conversation at the Cabot on April 10th. And it's going to be a panel discussion and many different kinds of opportunities to discuss mental health, family health, and just overall well-being, as well as potentially opioid addiction and kind of how that all plays into dynamics in our community. It's heavy topics, but it's all very relevant right now with what's happening in our society. And then the other thing we're going to be doing is a health and wellness expo as well. We haven't planned a date for that, but that is definitely coming up, and we will allow members and non-members. And the last thing I'm going to say is watch out, because the North Shore Home Show is coming your way. We're going to host that over at Beverly High School, and we're really excited to offer all of our home improvement and garden professionals an opportunity to really promote yourself to the community. So we're super psyched.
And so what about the mentoring program?
So the mentoring program is in its infancy stage, but what we're hoping to do is get chamber members to actually mentor other businesses. Kind of like SCORE.
Sort of like the coaching kind of thing.
It's kind of like SCORE, but we'll be asking SCORE and working with SCORE on this. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be super cool. So we've got some really cool initiatives for our members. So, and if you want to join, of course, you can always give me a buzz. So.
Certainly. Well, thanks, Leslie, for the chamber update, and that's our show for the day. So please reach out to our guests directly, and their information's on the slate that appears after their interview, and it might help you with your business. Alternatively, go get one of the chamber books or go to the website and look at the businesses that are out there that can help you. We also have a calendar of events on the chamber website, so you can look at what you might want to participate in from a networking event or maybe some of the other things that you just talked about.
We offer quite a bit.
So there's quite a bit of that. So again, we can't do this without the support staff of the BevCam group here. They help us deliver the programming to you and your audience. And any ideas on a particular topic you would like to hear about, please reach out to Leslie directly at lgould, GreaterBeverlyChamberCommerce.org. And with that, we want to remind you, whenever you're shopping, especially at this time of year, keep it local. And thank you for watching, and have a happy holiday.